Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. It's computer lecture of class 9th and we are discussing our chapter number 4, that is storage devices. Our topic is main memory. That is very important part of a computer and it is used to store data and instructions into the computer that are currently in use. And there are two types of main memory, RAM and ROM. RAM stands for random access memory and ROM stands for read-only memory. RAM is a temporary memory, and when we are working on the RAM, when the light switched off, then our data is lost. And while ROM is a ROM stands for read-only memory, and that is a permanent memory, and ROM stores data and instructions permanently. When the light switch off, our data doesn't lose. Okay students, and in our previous lecture we have discussed what is ROM and types of ROM. Three types of ROM: PROM, EPROM and EEPROM. And your question number 5 is, what is the difference between ROM and RAM? You will learn your question number 5 by yourself. Today's topic is, how does memory work? Working of memory in the computer. You know, the main memory is connected to the CPU, because CPU, what is CPU stands for? CPU stands for Central Processing Unit. And that is the brain of the computer. Without CPU, a computer cannot work. And the main memory is connected to the CPU through data bus, control bus and address bus. The CPU only reads and writes data in the memory. What is the working of memory? We will see that. What is the connection of CPU and main memory. CPU is connected to control bus, address bus and data bus, and main memory is also connected to control bus, then address bus and then data bus. And reading data, which are the steps when the CPU wants to read data from the memory? We will discuss these steps. We will see that how CPU reads data from the memory. CPU places the read request on the control bus. Firstly, CPU places the read request for reading data. Firstly, it gives a request on the control bus, and then CPU places the address of the byte or word which the CPU want to read, and it places the address of the byte or word on the address bus. And after reading, memory unit reads the command and address of memory. When the memory units read the command and address of memory, then it puts the required data on the data bus. The address bus puts the required data on the data bus, and CPU then reads this data from the data bus for processing. And the writing data process is same as reading data. The following steps are performed for writing data in memory. CPU places the write request on the control bus, which CPU wants to write by understanding. It places the write request on the control bus, and CPU places the address of the byte or word on the address bus, which is written or stored in memory, where it is to be written or stored in memory on the address bus. Then when memory unit gets ready to do the operation, CPU puts the data on the data bus. Then CPU put the data on the data bus. Then memory unit reads this data and places it in the specified memory address which want to write data. Okay students. For reading data, CPU reads its data from the data bus. But in writing data, when memory unit gets ready to do the operation, CPU puts the data on the data bus and memory unit reads this data and places it in specified memory address. The main memory consists of electronic circuits. A word or byte address is accessible without using any mechanical components because the main memory consists of electronic circuits. Then it can access without using any mechanical components. That is why the access speed of memory is very fast. The main memory speed is very fast. Also, the data stored in a computer's memory can be accessed in any order, and the main memory is often referred to as random access memory. That is the type of main memory. Okay students, today we have discussed about working of memory, and the main memory is connected to the CPU through data bus, control bus and address bus, and steps are performed when the CPU wants to read data from the memory. Firstly CPU places the read request on the control bus, then CPU places the address of the byte or word on the address bus, and then the memory unit reads the command and address of memory. It puts the required data on the data bus, and CPU then reads this data from the data bus for processing. And in writing data, CPU places the write request on the control bus. CPU places the address of the byte or word on the address bus. When memory units gets ready to do the operation, CPU puts the data on the database and the memory units read this data and place it in the specified memory address. And the speed of main memory is very fast, and the main memory is often referred to as random access memory, that is a temporary memory. Okay students, I hope you have understood that lecture and you will learn this question. You will learn all these steps. Allah Hafiz.